Hi, my name is Sarah, and the book I chose for this assignment is called Best Friend on Wheels. It was written by Deborah Sharley and illustrated by Julie Steed, and it was published in March of 2008, so it cuts pretty close to the deadline there, but it does make it. I found this book while looking for one of our other assignments on the TRC online database, and I really liked it and the story it told. So that is why I chose this book. As we go through and talk about the elements of this book, it is, by the cover you can tell that it's going to be about a girl in a wheelchair and her friends and how good of friends they are even though she is in a wheelchair. Like, that's not a big deal to them. As far as the characters go, they are shown through a little bit of dialogue and conversation, but more like they're represented by their likes. So if one girl likes something, the other one does too, and that's how they're revealed. Or if one likes it and the other doesn't, that's again how they're going to be revealed. The growth in this book, there isn't a whole lot of growth except how good their friendship becomes, even though there are differences. And the one girl was a little skeptical because she was in a wheelchair and didn't know she could actually become friends with her because it was weird at first. But they soon become friends, and then they're close as, I think she relates them to as close as glue, or as stuck together as glue, or something along those lines. We'll find out here in a minute, won't we? And then we get into talking about the plot. It does tell a good story. It goes through and it introduces them together, and it talks about how hard they think it might be, and then they're great friends, and they don't even realize that one of them has the disability. So I think it has a great plot and tells the story very, very well. The style of writing is also done very well, as it gives children a hard concept but breaks it down and makes it to where it's not even hard to understand. Like, why shouldn't they be friends, you know? Like, just because one's in a wheelchair doesn't mean they shouldn't be friends. So I think that is a great writing style to use, as in making it not a big deal. The setting doesn't have a specific spot. It's open, which means that the children are going to be able to relate a lot better because they've been to school, they've been to a mall, they have friends, so they're going to understand everything that this book is talking about, which means they can closely relate to the story. The point of view is from the girl who befriends Sarah, who is the one in the wheelchair. And it does this so it can show that she was a little skeptical about it. She was a little held back and didn't exactly want to try to be friends, but then realized, you know what, she's not different. It's okay. We're fine. We're good friends now. I think it does limit a little bit because we don't know what Sarah is thinking. We don't know how she's feeling about it. We don't know if she sees herself in a wheelchair as a setback, to where I wish we kind of could see her point of view a little bit more. Theme is, as I've already kind of touched on this a few times, but just because someone's different doesn't mean that they can't be friends, or somebody being different isn't necessarily a holdback or a problem, because everybody's going to be different, and a physical difference shouldn't mean that you can't be friends with them. It is a hard topic and a hard theme to understand, but this book makes it so easy, and it's hard to not understand. Now, when we talk about what this book would be used for, I do want to point out that we could probably use it as a crossing curriculum when you get into the older grades. But I would say I want to use this in elementary, and I want to use it for maybe the more cultural perspective aspect of the book. I know it's not necessarily someone from a different ethnicity or race, or they don't celebrate different holidays, but it is a different perspective. It is somebody else in the classroom, and you kind of need to sit back and sit in their shoes and kind of look at it from their perspective. And I think that's the important part of this book, because it is going to put you in a sense of, oh, I didn't think about it like that. and I think kids really need to understand that. For me to read this book, it is an online book, and my camera won't turn it around to where I can just read you the book and show you the book. So I'm probably going to have to like turn the phone to show you the actual photos and stuff. So it may flip it around a little bit, but I will do my best to let you see the book. Again, this is Best Friend on Wheels. Trying to get it to where I can see. Okay. I know the words are flipped around backwards for you, and I do apologize. I wish I could do something else. I tried to get my camera to work for me, but it didn't want to. So this is Best Friend on Wheels by Deborah Shirley and illustrated by Judy Steed. Let's get to the book. Sarah, my best friend, is so much like we. We like the same stuff and on most things agree. Oh, I had it loaded up. I do apologize. We both like peach pie best. Our color is blue. We both adore painting and reading. It's true. We're both good at frisbee. We like a good ballad. We both pick the peppers off pizza and salad. We're different in one way. She uses a wheelchair. She rolls and I walk when we want to go somewhere. We met when my second grade teacher, Miss Poole, suggested I show the new girl around school. Sure, I'd be glad to, so when do I meet her? She's on her way now, said Miss Poole. Let's go greet her. When I saw she was using a wheelchair, I froze. I fidgeted, twisted, and stared at my toes. I was so nervous, I stammered and stuttered. I might say the wrong thing, I thought, so I just muttered. I wanted to get a good look at her chair, but I felt like a jerk and tried not to stare. I looked all around till my eyes came to rest on a shiny round button she wore on her vest. Rockhound, it said, and I yelped with delight. Do you collect rocks? And she grinned. Yes, that's right. So do I. I have crystals, I practically squealed. I've got a rock tumbler, she said, and that sealed it. The first time I stayed at her house overnight, after movies and popcorn and a wild pillow fight, it's hard to believe, but I actually said, I'd be happy to get your wheelchair in bed. But Sarah said, silly, that's not how I do it. I slide off my chair into bed. Nothing to it. We ended up staying awake till midnight. We hid under the covers and read by flashlight. We told spooky stories until we got scared. Then we each chose one page of our diaries and shared. Ever since then, we've been thicker than glue. I found out she does everything that I do. We love making scrapbooks. We're great at cartooning. Last summer, we even went hot air ballooning. Dancing? Yes, dancing. She loves the ballet. She spins on her wheels and twirls every which way. We're peas in a pod, we hear everyone say. We hang out together almost every day. I almost forget that we're different at all, except once in a while, like today at the mall. We stopped for an ice cream at 3:15. The ice cream clerk looked right past Sarah to me. The clerk was so nervous, she stammered, she stuttered. What flavor does she want? The clerk finally muttered. She looked all around till her eyes came to rest on a shiny round button on Sarah's pink vest. I love my finches, the clerk read the word. Finches, you're kidding! I have 20 birds! The clerk then asked each of us, what'll it be? I looked at Sarah, and she looked at me. Now, Sarah and I were twin sisters at heart, except for one huge thing that sets us apart. For me, 1 scoop of vanilla is just right. For Sarah, fudge, coconut, cherry delight. Okay, so on ice cream, we might disagree. But really, we're birds of a feather, you see. It's odd that the moment I met her, I'm sure, I saw only the wheelchair. I didn't see her. I still think her wheelchair's a pretty neat tool, but now I see Sarah first, and she's cool. I'm certain if you look close, you'll also see Sarah, my best friend, a girl just like me. I do hate that I had to read it kind of backwards, and I also hate that it didn't want to load. I do apologize for that. And next time I hope to have a paper book so it isn't as hard. And I hope maybe I can figure out how to flip the camera around. Again, I love this book. It's great to teach the lesson that just because someone's different doesn't mean you can't befriend them. And I am, again, sorry that it wasn't better equipment for me to read the book as I would have liked to.